Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's a bit of a yucky day today. It's raining, so you're probably hearing the rain on the roof here. A couple of things. I know it's been a while since we've worked on the engine, so I wanted to give an update. I did film a little bit of content for the engine updates, but I don't think I ever got around to doing anything with it. So if anything works in with what I'm about to do now, then we'll try and put some in, but we'll try and cover everything as to where things are at. So, as we last saw, this was the engine I'd picked up. We've been taking it apart. The issue I had was being able to get the harmonic balancer off, which we're hoping to fix up today, because what I have is just over here, is I bought the can locking kit for, it's actually for R53s, R56s, etc. So, I've actually already put this plate in place. So as we can see, the locking tool's in place. I'm not going to pull it off now and show you, but I will show you a little bit later. There's two little studs that stick out of the plate that go into the sprocket here, and that holds everything in place. So we'll go from there. Now the good thing is that's all locked up, so we're going to go and get a tool and we're going to see if we can finally prise this thing off. I think so. This adapter is in better nick. I think the other one has been wrecked before, used and abused, so that one's no good. That's come out alright. It's not too bad in the end. Right, now we've got to get a puller on this. Right, and we're back. So I had forgotten this. So when I bought the ATI super dampers from Orange Performance, I asked for the puller as well. So look at that, perfect for the Mini. Let's take this apart before we go around. I have actually run out of time, if I'm really honest, to be doing things like this, but we're going to have a quick look. I think, you know what, dropping parts. So this here is the bolt that goes into the camshaft that you push against, he says, hopefully. But we'll have a look and see. Let's quickly go around. So I'm going to pick, this bolt's obviously going to come out. I'm picking that thread, will be the same as that one. So we'll open this thing up. Of course everything comes in a piece of plastic, so that should sit down and sit inside there. It does nicely. We want to get it just right the way to the end. We don't want to be pushing on the threads and wreck the threads, so that's in there. There's a bit of a flat spot there to tighten it, but just as long as it's against the end. And we've got bolts that have just fallen out the bottom. It's handy. Looks like a couple of different sizes. We'll have to check the other engine, because the other engine's out of a slightly, is the pre-facelift model. Dropping washers. So there's different sizes bolts here, two sizes by the looks. And washers that obviously fit both. Obviously I need a new bag. These look quite small, these ones. So there you go, it's the small ones for the facelift. Let's take the plastic off this, because I don't know, we just need plastic obviously on everything. There's a nice little ball bearing in the end there, and that will sit up in that, there's a little hole in there that'll sit up in there. it's a nice very fine thread so that it's not trying to pull too fast or too hard. Interesting, the washers they've given us are too small and a medium sized one, but that's okay. I'm assuming they'll be for these. You know, the other ones are got a slightly big head on them, but wouldn't have thought they would have been needed. But now the big question is, how far into these go? Picking that they don't go a long way in, but right, let's see what we can see. I should have more washers in here. I should have somewhere here some bits. 8 or 10 mil. What do we reckon? I'm gonna go with 10. Lean across. Correct. I have a device here. I'm not sure how good this will be, but it might be better than me. Oh, tight already. Okay, they don't go on a long way then. But, okay. So then let's explain why this was so far out in the first place. After all that, I didn't have to bring that too far back. Right, that's up. Now, so there is quite a bit of distance there. Obviously didn't need to do it quite as much as I thought. So we'll find out the size of that. I'm picking, that's 17 to 19 mil. That's my guess. That should be, it's 19. 19 it is. Let's try this thing. Try this. We've got two options and a really big one if we need it. Okay, I'll try and keep still as well. It'd be good, wouldn't it? Let's see how we go. Oop, did that let go or have I broken something? He says. Oh. Yeah, that's coming. Oh. It's definitely moving. Doesn't make good noises though, does it? Eh? It's definitely coming out. If you're watching here, this gap is getting bigger. Alright. At some point, I'm picking this might fall off. There we go. Done. Okay, right, so this seal here is one we're going to replace. Be interesting to see if that has leaked at some point. I mean, there's plenty of oil around here, but that may have come from the sump up, because it doesn't, there's a little bit there, but it's not exactly excessive. So the next thing will be to take this panel off, which
I'm just going to put that bolt back in. Wow, actually, it's never good to reuse these bolts, to be honest, because I know you could, but there's a high torque on that, so best not to tempt fate and have it snap on you when you're putting it in for the second time. Right. This looks like it's been off before and had, oh, and there's a Torx one at the top. Brilliant. So I think we've talked about with this engine that this has been off before, because it looks like someone's just put like a silicon based sealer on it. Which is, I guess, always an interesting question for those who have had experience. You know, the view is, do you just go with the rubber seal that comes with it? Maybe. Do you go belt and braces and put silicone in as well? But you can see there on that, just silicone. So it's spread everywhere. The only concern I always have with silicone is it can easily get inside the compartment you're sealing. You know, bits and pieces can break off and then float around inside, which never good inside an engine, because it could block your oil pathways and cause a problem. Lack of oil getting to somewhere, build up of oil, and see this one here is just completely stuck in with silicone, that one. Right, we have to go find the Torx bolt as well to get that side of it off. But that's those 10 mils out. That one looks too big though. Nope, that one's good. Big question is, will this little driver be able to open it? Yes. Apparently it's not that tight. It's got a lot of silicone around it though. I've got this feeling that this is going to need to be cut off. Yep, this is going to be a challenge. So let's get a whole bunch of flat blade screwdrivers. Right, we'll start with this one. We'll find another one. And what I'm going to do is prise this open a little bit. And get I have also just noticed that I haven't undone something. Typical me. He says, help if you undid them all. Undo all the bolts before you start trying to pry something off. It's always a good idea, I think. Hands up in the comments who noticed that I'd cocked that one up. It's a nice long one too. Right, let's see where we get to now. You watch the whole thing just pop off easy. Okay, right, he says. So we pulled off. So this is the oil pump in here. So this is the input. As you can see, someone's siliconed this up, and I can guarantee that there are bits of silicon that floated around this engine the way that's in there. That is supposed to be an O-ring, not silicon. It's supposed to be an O-ring. We can now see, oh, there. I was wondering where the other O-ring was. It's actually stuck here. So that, I'm assuming, used to be an O-ring. It's got the bumps on it, but that's solid. That's lost all its ability to resist. But that's good to know, actually, because, you know, with the pack I had, it's always interesting to know which parts belong where. Right, so this is the gasket that's just come off the entry point where the oil goes up into the pump. This is a replacement. So the biggest thing you can tell there, you can see that this one's a lot fatter. This one's just completely crushed, and it's very hard. This is, look, nice and pliable. This one is just stiff and it's lost everything. It doesn't help that someone's just siliconed over it. That's just really bad. Please don't do that. Anyway, those will go in. I'm just going to keep them in there for a moment. So lose them and put them over there with the other seal that needs to go in there. That'll go in the bin. Literally that bin over there. Right, so a quick roundup. So here's a good look at the chain and the guide. So as you can see, it's this brown stuff that cracks and breaks away. This chain, it's a bit hard to tell from here, doesn't seem to be too bad. Sprocket looks fine, but I think we'll do a full-on change. I'm not going to take anything off yet because I haven't aligned everything, and I need to work out how that is all set up. So as you can see, here's the oil pickup here. I need to move this in case that continues to drip. Let's give it a word of a wipe. We will take this off at some point as well. So oil pickup comes up through here, up into the block here, and is picked up here, and that then goes up and is the pump rotates around and forces the oil up through here, and that, as you can see here, comes up and I'm assuming comes out here and then off into the that goes off into the filter and the fuel pressure, the oil pressure, oil pressure. So you get your oil pressure sensor there, and then it goes through there and off, then up into the engine, and etc., where it needs to go. I'm not 100% sure where these two actually go from here, but I'm sure someone does know. There's lots of options there. Here's the tensioner. As you can see, that seems pushed up pretty tight at the moment. Now that gets its fuel oil pressure from, he says, somewhere. Who knows? Can't quite see. Lighting's not that good. Anyway, so we've got those orange seals. They'll go in there. When we replace that, we'll put that other one properly in there. We'll have to clean up all of this sealant. Get rid of it from everywhere here. Obviously, as you can see as well, there's a hole here, so oil can trickle back down through here and get back down into the sump. as and when it needs to. Yeah, so we'll clean all this up and we'll do some more taking apart. So I'm going to end this one here. Obviously we'll leave that on because we don't want to lose timing at the moment. I haven't set up any more. I need to kind of do a bit more to work out on the timing. This engine will probably come apart, so I do want to know more about it before I take it apart. So it is highly possible I could just take this apart. I'll know where everything goes. But there's these two markers here which go to two gold links, which I can't see at the moment. And then there will be another one up on top of this sprocket here. So, and as people say, I'm just reading this, you can turn the engine over many times before you get those lined up again. But I certainly think when you put the engine together, and I need to double check the timing, so I'm not 100% sure how you set the pistons up when you put this on like this, but it's either number one's at top dead center, which is a fairly common starting point, but having worked on in the R56 lovely Peugeot engine, that's not how they do it. You have all of the pistons dead level in the middle of the engine when you set the timing. So that's off. Another thing done. Now, what I was going to do, I was going to say what's happening with this engine, because if I have put the content in, as I said, we've got this engine here, which is a bit hard to see at the moment, and it's got this slightly different, I don't know if you can see that. No, you can't see that. That's completely bad. So let's look at it this way. So we've got this other engine here that is going to go in the Mini to start with. I will be pulling the damper off this one as well, and we're putting an ATI super damper on this engine because this is going in the Mini. Because I've now got this engine, and obviously there's the one in the Mini that's going to come out. I'm picking now this engine over here was going to have all the oil seals checked, put it back together, and then put it in the car. But now we've got this one. I'm thinking what we'll do with this one is we're going to pull this one completely to bits. We're going to do a number of things. One of the options, and it'd be good to hear your comments and below what you think. This engine over here does have a Newman cam in it. I was thinking of putting in the Cat Cam 469, which is quite a popular cam in this engine, or maybe in mine. The other thing I do want to do, after meeting a guy down at Bewley who said that one of the best things for getting power to these things is to port the head. So I know that there are a number of engineering shops out there do that. The other thing that they can do is you put slightly bigger valves in, like I think it's like 1.25, 1.5 mil, slightly bigger. I don't know exactly the details, so it's something that needs to, again, to be looked into. But you can, change the inlet and the exhaust valves, make them slightly bigger. Again, all about trying to get flow through the engine. So obviously this side we've got the exhaust valves, and on the other side we've got the inlet valves. This has got a standard cam in it. What I am thinking with the other engine as well, to put that in my car, I may swap the cams over, purely because with the Newman cam in it, my ECU won't be programmed to do it, and so I may. So I've either that, or I've got to talk to someone who knows a bit about tuning and see what we can get organised. But so comments, thoughts. This head will come off. So this engine will get completely taken apart, but I need more space. I need to be able to be organised, everything that comes out of it. So I'll have a look and see what I can do to do that. Maybe use a drawer, but I want to make sure everything comes out as it should do. And then when this engine's put back together, depending on how it's put back together, because if this head is good and I can get it cleaned and done, this may then just go straight onto my engine, and then we'll do something else with this. But the whole point in this engine, maybe what we'll do is we'll just pull it apart, pull it back together, put it back together again as a standard engine, and then sell it on. Maybe that's an option. And just, for someone to say, they've seen the engine be built, they've seen, what's happened with it, and it's not going to have any necessary performance added to it, but you know, it could be a good engine for someone to get. The question is, would someone be interested in buying an engine if we just did it one standard? Or, yeah, finally thought you can have a look at me. Also, the other thing is, do we set it up and do something a little bit special with it? Who knows? I don't know. Maybe port this head as well. At the end of the day, I will keep 2 engines for my car. Well, not just for my car, but for other purposes. It may be interesting to have 3 engines. I don't know, but depending on, you know, I've got to have options for the future. You know, who knows what's going to happen here. At the moment, I've got this kind of workshop here, but when this house is finished, these containers will have to leave, and at the moment we need to understand where and what I can work on. So things may have to be sold, may keep them, but again, let me know your thoughts on all that sort of stuff. Sorry, this engine rebuild has taken a while to come back to, but a number of reasons why, but we're back on it. And it's not going to be a fast project, but hopefully we'll have some more time to spend on it and get something done. Anyway, thanks again for watching. This has been a long one. So take care for now, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks very much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.